Hey guys, it's smeefu, and this is my in-depth build guide on Wraith. I'll talk about everything I like to buy and why I don't like to buy other things, along with some other situational purchases that you can make when you find yourself in tricky situations. I'll go in-depth on why I hate Lucky Shot and think it's one of the worst items you can buy on this hero and many others, and also why I don't like Veil Walker and barriers on Wraith. At the end of the video, I'll show you how to find and use the building game so you can enjoy Wraith's full potential. But in the meantime, please like, subscribe, comment down below what hero you would like to see next, and as always, enjoy the video. So, to start off with this build guide, you guys are probably going to think I'm trolling, but I promise you I'm not, and I'll explain why. The first item I like to pick up on Wraith is Melee Lifesteal. And I know you're thinking already, Melee Wraith, what is this guy doing? But just read this item and realize how powerful it is in lane. You're going to do 13% extra melee damage, you're going to get health from it, you're going to get even more bonus health. So just buying this item is putting us to 686 health from 550. That's a crazy amount of health. And now you have a passive that's on a 7.5 second cooldown, where when you perform a melee attack, you will heal for 90 plus 20% of the damage. And it's 60% less effective against non-heroes. So this means that when you light attack an enemy in lane, you're going to get 104 health and deal 72 damage just from a light attack. Now, if that isn't a stupid amount of healing and an insane amount of damage just for pressing your light attack once, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're high if you think that's not good. It's absolutely insane. And the thing is, with Wraith, her gun is very, very low damage early. So pushing wave is extremely hard with your gun on Wraith. And you obviously don't want to use your cards to push wave. You want to save them for huge burst damage. So buying melee items, which brings me to the next one, which is Spirit Strike. This is the next item I like to buy. Buying these items allows you to clear wave extremely efficiently by punching them. So Spirit Strike is going to give you another 12% damage. It's going to give you Spirit Power. It's going to give you Spirit Shield health and health regen, which are both amazing for lane. Health regen's just great overall. And then you have Spirit Shield health, reducing the amount of poke you take over time in lane, as it will come off cooldown and just reduce the damage you take every so often. But the passive is really why we're getting this item. The fact that this procs on a light melee attack is insane to me. So you do a light or heavy melee against a hero, and you will deal an extra 52, since it's spirit scaling, burst spirit damage on top of the melee damage. So now a light attack is doing like 130 damage after buying 2 items in lane. It's healing me for 105 still. And it's reducing their spirit resist by 12% for 11 seconds. So now instead of my card doing 86, it's going to do 97. That is insane. So in lane, these 2 items make you a powerhouse instantly. Then we're going to build off on this concept, and we're going to go for extra charge. Now when people come near us, and you have 2, you save your cards for when people are close, if you can. And then you pop your melee, spray them, and throw 2 cards. And they just die. They just die so early. Buffing this even more, we go for Infuser. When people are up close now, we do the same thing. Light attack, pop Infuser, throw cards. And we're just doing a crazy amount of damage this early into the game. Especially because by this point, we'll almost have the 2nd talent point in card trick. So we're going to be doing crazy damage. So this is the core that I like to build. Obviously, if you're in a harder lane, you can buy something like Healing Right. You can buy extra regen. You could buy monster rounds if you need to push the wave a little bit more with your gun. But this is the core of what I like to go. Get this pretty much every single time. Then I like to move on to just buffing my weapon a bit. I'll either go basic mag or rapid rounds or something. But for now, we'll say basic mag. It's just a great item. Gives Wraith some more ammo. Gives her weapon damage. What's not to like? It's going to help your wave clear. It's going to do more damage to players. It's great. Then we go for Swift Striker. Swift Striker being one of the best value items in the game when it comes to left-click heroes. 22% extra DPS, basically, from the fire rate. And 10% extra ammo is also amazing on Wraith since she has such a high ammo pool to start with. And the bullet resist of minus 5%, we're not going to worry about too much because we'll fix that very soon. Then I want to move on to Active Reload. Active Reload, since Wraith has such a huge mag, is going to go a long way. You know, you're gonna spray a full mag, and then you're quickly gonna spray another full mag, and now you have 20% bullet lifesteal and more fire rate. Also reducing your reload time by 20% across the board. This item's just amazing for any left-click hero, and Wraith is no exception. At some point, we're gonna pick up sprint boots just to be able to move around the map quicker, gank more easily, and get to jungle camps more efficiently. Then an item I want to rush 100% of the time on Wraith is Intensifying Magazine. This is going to give us an even bigger mag. Now we have 88 bullets. An Intensifying Magazine just got buffed. The effect now doesn't completely wear off as soon as you stop shooting, but in fact, it slowly goes down. So with an item like Active Reload, we're going to be able to hold the weapon damage pretty high and stay at that plus 75% weapon damage effect for much longer periods of time. So the buff to this item isn't talked about enough, and it's absolutely huge. There's so many heroes that want to be buying this now, and Wraith is definitely included. The ammo, again, is amazing because she starts with such high base ammo, and the weapon damage is obviously great. Now I want to go for another reload item, because this is going to make my jungle speed so much higher and so much more efficient. So now that I have active reload and quicksilver reload, I'm going to shoot a full mag at a tier 3 mob, reload, shoot a full mag at a tier 3 mob, quicksilver reload, shoot a full mag. So that's 3 full mags, and by the time you're done, the cooldown for active reload will almost be ready again. It might even be ready again. Or if you started with quicksilver reload, by the time you've done the active reload mag, quicksilver might be ready again as well. So you're going to be able to clear camps extremely efficiently, and during fights, you're going to be shooting permanently. Now for some sustain, we go for bullet lifesteal. Bullet lifesteal is, again, just a headstone of pretty much any left-click hero. Getting back some health when you're fighting is just really important for heroes like this. You can imagine how much this is going to heal throughout the game. Even just shooting bodies, shooting heads, you're obviously going to see it rocketing up. But that on top of active reload is going to give you 48%, I believe. Yep, 48% lifesteal, which is going to increase our tankiness heavily. At this point, we're going to start making ourselves stronger for fights, because we're already strong for clearing jungle camps, as I showed before. You're going to shoot a full mag, pop active reload, shoot another full mag, quicksilver reload, and you just shoot permanently with this build, basically. It's extremely fun and very efficient. I would actually be doing more damage there, but I haven't leveled up my hero. So yeah, at this point, you're going to be able to, like I said, clear jungle camps very fast, and you're going to get a lot of money very, very fast. Once you have these items, you're ready to just run around the map, clearing all the tier 3 jungle camps. Pretty much before anyone else is able to clear them this efficiently. Maybe 7. But 7 probably won't win lane as fast as you did. So now we're going to make ourselves a bit stronger in fights. If you don't have a flex slot at this point, you sell basic mag, and you go for escalating resilience. Escalating resilience is another incredibly undervalued item, like intensifying mag. It's going to give you 14% fire rate, 14% weapon damage, on top of the base 14% for just being a tier 3 weapon item, so 28% weapon damage on this item. And it's going to grant you bullet resist, 2% to be exact, every single time one of your bullet hits an enemy. And this has no internal cooldown, which means for a hero like Wraith, who shoots a lot of bullets very fast, if you look at my bullet resist in the bottom left, you build it up very fast. Instantly, plus 40% bullet resist, putting me at 35%, completely ignoring Swift Striker's -5, basically. And this lasts for 20 seconds. Even if you just last one shot, it will extend the 20 seconds back to 20 again. So this item is incredibly overtuned and so must buy, in my opinion, on left-click heroes. Then we're going to move on again to make ourselves a bit stronger. We're going to go Spirit Armor. So now in fights, we're going to have 20% Spirit Armor, 35% Bullet Armor, and a lot of lifesteal. Permanently shooting. You know, got a lot of damage going out, a lot of sustain. We're very, very strong at this point in the game, especially if we won lane and we're ahead in souls. Now is where I would like to upgrade to Enduring Speed, because if I'm fighting a bit more, I don't want to be getting slowed. It's pretty detrimental to our game plan. And this is also going to help us move around the map more efficiently and get to jungle camps quicker. Also going to help with split pushing. The main part about this item is the slow resist. Getting slowed in fights is horrible, especially on a hero that wants to be, moving around a lot, being nimble, shooting heads. You don't want to be slowed and become an easy target. Here, I like to buff our damage a little bit and buy bullet resist shredder. This is just a great item. It's going to give you some bullet resist, some health, and it's going to reduce the bullet resist on enemies every time you deal spirit damage. So for every card you throw and when your full auto is procced or used, you'll be seeing this little icon to let you know that their bullet resist is reduced by 12%. Here I would also sell melee lifesteal and go for bullet armor. Now in fights, we're incredibly tanky. We have 49% bullet resist, 20% spirit resist, a good amount of lifesteal, and a really good amount of damage. Next, I want to talk on some situational stuff. At this point, we're going to look to buff our purples a little bit. You'd probably sell a Spirit Strike at this point, since you don't really want to spend a flex slot on purples on this hero. So the first thing I want to talk about is Silence Glyph. If you're facing a lot of heroes that are easily evading your ult, so you're struggling to gank them, like Pocket with his suitcase, or Yamato with her ult, or Vindicta pressing flight, blah, blah, blah. So many heroes can escape this ult, and it can be very annoying to use sometimes. Silence Glyph can help with that. If you get Silence Glyph this early, most people are not going to have something to deal with it. They're not going to have an item like Warp Stone to get away and let the Silence Glyph run out. They're not going to have Ethereal Shift. So once you get Silence Glyph, you're going to be able to Silence Glyph and ult them very easily. Another item you can go is Surge of Power. If you want a bit more spirit damage and you can imbue your card, this is going to increase the damage of your card heavily, as you just saw. So look, 162 damage. But if you put Surge of Power on it, 230 damage per card. And every time you cast a card on a 10-second cooldown, you're going to gain move speed and become a lot faster. You're also going to gain fire rate bonus for 6 seconds, which is great. Honestly, an underrated item on this hero. I am just not the biggest fan because usually I like to go Silence Glyph, and I don't want to be spending too much money on purples until maybe Curse. If you're in a game where you're getting focused by a lot of ults like Lash ult or something, then buy Ethereal Shift. Just a great universal item for all heroes, pretty much. Something you could do is buy Suppressor, and with the spirit damage, you're going to be applying Suppressor with your full auto and with your cards. Maybe upgrade to Mystic Slow later, but I barely ever do this. I don't really see a need to, but it's there if you want to. So after we've sold Extra Charge to fit in our other situational purple item, for me, Silence Glyph, our build is going to look like this. Sorry if the editing made it look a bit weird in the past sections, but here is what we have so far. This is pretty much the core and what I go every single time, or what I end up with every single time at this part of the game. Sell my melee items, sell Extra Charge, because you don't really need more than 2 cards going into late game. This build is not focused on doing damage with cards, but they're a nice extra little bit of damage, so 2 charges is fine, and you're going to be shooting so fast that you'll build them up anyway mid-fight. So, see, I'm able to throw cards pretty consistently with only 2 charges. You don't really need the Extra Charge anymore. It's just great for burst damage in lane. After this is where we're going to move on and talk about the different paths you can go with Wraith in endgame. The tier 4 items are not 100% set. There is not one single item you want to get every single time. It completely depends on the match that you're in, other than maybe one item. I would say Vampiric Burst is the item I buy most commonly on Wraith. It's good in pretty much every game. The only time you wouldn't buy this is if there's just a joking, like, crazy amount of disarms or metal skins on the other team. And then its value falls off a little bit, but you should be able to get pretty huge value from this. It's going to give you 2 meters per second movement speed. Look how fast we are at this point in the build, which is insane. It's also going to give you 25% weapon damage plus the 18% base, 150 health, and the active is unreal for Wraith. You can use it offensively. When you ult someone, you pop Vampiric Burst and just destroy them. They're dead. They're dead now. But you can also use it defensively. If you get low on health, you'll see how quick this is going to heal you up. And I'm full health. So the active on this item is incredibly powerful offensively and defensively. I recommend trying it out. I can't play Wraith without it. It feels way too good on this hero. I love this item. Quickly, I want to speak about Lucky Shot and why this item is trash. Like, seriously, this item is horrible. I don't know why anyone likes it at all. It makes no sense to me. So, the base stats are terrible. You're only getting 30% ammo. Like, that is absolutely terrible for a tier 4 item. You're spending 6.2k on this thing. It's a 35% proc chance on all of your bullets that bullet will deal 90% bonus damage and a 30% movement slow for 1.5 seconds. So it seems amazing, right? 90% extra damage, 35% of the time. But that's not actually much damage, especially considering you're sacrificing other stats you'd get from other items, like a 20% weapon damage here, to get this passive. So if we actually compare the DPS, let's shoot about 50 bullets into this target dummy's head. 1,100 DPS, right? Say we went for crippling headshot instead. Shoot about 50 bullets. 100 more DPS. And this target doesn't have armors, okay? This target has no armors. So the way the armor calculates is a complete flat reduction. So if this guy had 50% armor, we'd be getting even more value because this would increase our damage against the target even more than if he had 0 armor like he does now. And at the same time, you're getting 10% bullet lifesteal, 10% spirit lifesteal, and you're applying this debuff for all your teammates. All your teammates are now dealing more damage to this target who has their armor reduced. If you're buying Lucky Shot for the slow, a simply better option is Inhibitor. You're also getting 25% weapon damage from this, 20% base health, and 175 bonus health. So you're getting a huge health buff. You're applying slow on every shot. It's not a random proc chance. And you're reducing their outgoing damage by 35%, which is ridiculous. They also fixed the way this item applies, so it works 100% of the time. Extremely overtuned, and just a better item than Lucky Shot if you're going for slows. You're going to be dealing slightly less damage with this item instead of Lucky Shot, but you're gaining a lot of health, and the damage penalty minus is going to be absolutely invaluable for your team and way better than what Lucky Shot provides. But now we've got my Lucky Shot rant out the way, let's talk about other options. So we've mentioned Crippling Headshot being amazing, and we've mentioned Inhibitor. Another item you can go is Curse. If your team has an enemy that they're really struggling to shut down, like a really fed Yamato or Pocket, you buying Curse is going to be invaluable. Nothing will match up to you buying Curse in the game, because now when a Pocket goes in, he's cursed, altered, and he's dead. So if there's a guy you really, really need to shut down, there's no better item to buy than Curse, and it can literally win you the game by winning a huge team fight for you by taking out that carry. If you're super ahead and the enemies are trying to farm and are really split, Shadow Weave is amazing for Wraith. 40% fire rate when you come out, 55 spirit power, increasing your card damage. The stats are good too, some ammo, some spirit shield health, some health regen, plus the 20% base health. If you feel like you're getting a lot of opportunities to gank, or you need to split push a lot, Shadow Weave is great, just for catching people off guard and killing them immediately, just helping you snowball a lot. I don't buy it too often, but it's a great option. Now, if you find yourself in a game where at this point you're doing more than enough damage, you can go for Leech. Leech is going to literally make you final boss and make it extremely hard for the enemies to kill you. Just look how much I'm healing without even popping my Vampiric Burst. It's a crazy amount of healing, and it's very, very hard to kill a Wraith that has this, especially when later on, after Vampiric Burst, you can upgrade both your armors. Now in fights, you have 64% bullet resist, 45% spirit resist. Then if you get Leech on top, you're extremely hard to kill. Unbelievably hard to kill, and you're doing crazy damage. And you're able to disable targets for your team. Plus, you have the AoE up by now. You're just a big pest and very, very annoying to play against. If you're facing a lot of CC and you're struggling to get your game plan off, Unstoppable is a great pick for every hero. It's going to give you move speed, which feels amazing. It's going to give you more spirit resist, making you even tankier. Now we're at 64% and 53% pretty much at all times when our escalating resilience is up. So you can see that this Wraith build can become extremely tanky while still putting out an insane amount of damage. My ideal build would probably look something like this. After I have Vampiric Burst, I would upgrade both my armors. Then I would go for Crippling Headshot, just because this item's value is insane, reducing the resists on anyone you're shooting It's great for you being able to kill them, but also great for your teammates to do more damage. Can really help shut down tanks. Then I find it hard not to buy Curse. Curse is extremely strong, and I would go for something like Inhibitor. This is probably the best way to play Wraith. I really, really despise going the Veil Walker route. It's great early game and you feel invincible, but then late game when people are shredding your barriers and you have no armor underneath your barriers, you're going to get rinsed. You're going to die way too fast. You're not going to be able to lifesteal at all because you're dying too quickly. And you're going to end up having to sell your Veil Walker and your barriers just to buy armors late game. So it's not an efficient way to play Wraith. Buying barriers, I don't think this hero likes them. She scales too well to be buying barriers, as they don't scale late game at all. Hey guys, so thank you for watching the build video. If you want to try out in game, you can find it here by going browse builds, going on public and searching my name. And all my builds will always be called YT Smeefu. And you can see here if it's my profile picture, favorite hero pocket, just to verify it's my build. And I have explanations here for everything I buy, along with some situational stuff that I may have not talked about in the video because I don't buy them often at all. But everything's here for you to choose from, and it's pretty well explained. Hope you enjoyed, and for now, goodbye.